as a governor, Governor DeSantis is in charge of the state troops, and
March came in like a lion and went out with Trump on the lamb.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here. We got to talk about this Donald Trump situation. He has finally been indicted. The walls have closed in, and this time it's serious. They're telling us, of course, that's what's happening. Of course, they've been telling us about that with everything that happens to Donald Trump, every scandal or made-up scandal that he's been involved in. And yes, there have been both scandals and made-up scandals. But big surprise here, the American media is overselling this thing once again.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, if there is a camera in the room, that's a remarkable moment in and of itself, but it could be important to actually get a clear view of what happened inside that courtroom.
Absolutely, and there is a compelling public interest argument to make. It is absolutely true that New York is really regressive in terms of cameras in the courtroom. I do expect there'll be an argument made. I'm not sure what the ruling will be on that, but it's interesting. I was thinking as you were asking that question, one of the things we saw over and over, both with Michael Cohen in terms of Trump and then other people in the White House, people have a habit of taping Donald Trump, and they have a habit of taping Donald Trump because he spins his own reality and will contradict whatever people say about him. A camera would be pretty vital in terms of people understanding what happened and not being told that something is fake news. And in an era where Trump is saying that all of these reports are not true, I think there is a compelling argument for it. I am skeptical that it will happen. I covered courts in this state. I know how against cameras in the courtroom judges are here, but I do think there is going to be a compelling argument made.
Just to be clear, Tucker said probably not the best time to give up your AR-15s. Most people know that. Why not? Why is he saying that? The implication is that you have the AR-15 so that you could shoot at, kill, maim who? Fellow citizens? Agents of the state? Why do you have them? Who are you going to shoot?
We heard the high-minded preachment that we should get from members of Congress saying that there's nothing to celebrate tonight. Yeah. I have a feeling that there are millions of people watching this right now in a celebratory mood.
And Lawrence, that's fair. I absolutely think it's fair because we can feel both things at the same time. It's a dark day. This is historic. Nothing like this has ever happened before, although there are plenty of arguments that would say this should have happened a long time ago with other people in Donald's position. But it's not good for the country to have somebody at his level of power continuing to get away with things with such impunity. On the other hand, because he has gotten away with so much for so long, and so many of his victims will never see their day in court, I think it's absolutely understandable that some people would be feeling vindicated and, quite honestly, celebratory.
Yeah, I hate to be the one old enough to have to tell the audience that there was an awful lot of celebrating when Richard Nixon was forced to resign the presidency, and celebrate was the word for it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
But yeah, he's going to surrender on Tuesday. He will be arrested. He will be fingerprinted. And everybody at MSNBC is actually the same question. Is it wrong to jerk off to a mugshot? And I find it so funny that the guy, the DA in New York who brought this case, Alvin Bragg, I love this, that the most boastful man ever in history is indicted by a guy named Bragg. Sometimes you can't write this shit. It would be like if the prosecutor in the R. Kelly case was named Dave Tinkle. And boy, Trump is pissed, and I don't blame him. You know, he spent his whole life stiffing people, and the one time he pays someone, this shit happens.
But it's not just these guys overselling it. Also, my friends on the right are overselling this as well with questions about what Ron DeSantis is going to do. Ron DeSantis has to do something about this. This has nothing to do with Ron DeSantis. There's not going to be a Mar-a-Lago down situation where Ron DeSantis has to do something to stop the federal government or the state of New York from extraditing Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said repeatedly he's turning himself in. Donald Trump wants this.
The critics, the normies, say there's nothing that DeSantis could do. What could he do?
Well, again, this is a bold and arguably extreme step, but as a governor, Governor DeSantis is in charge of the state troops, and he could, Trump would have to cooperate with this, but he could basically protect Trump in a situation where Trump's like in the governor's mansion, protected by the state troops, and force the issue to go to federal court and have them say, okay, what's the ruling here, and actually create a kind of resistance, sort of standoff type situation.
And now you have this Manhattan district attorney who his whole platform when he got elected was that he was going to downgrade as many felonies as possible to misdemeanors. He was going to keep as many people out of jail, even habitual criminals, as possible. And he was going to go light on all these things as part of, quote, criminal justice reform. So that's his posture. He doesn't want to charge people with felonies. So now he turns around purely for political purposes and indicts a former president on misdemeanor offenses that they're straining to try to convert into felonies. That is when you know that the law has been weaponized for political purposes. That is when you know that the left is using that to target their political opponents. And I can tell you this, these Soros-backed DAs, they are a menace to society. They are a menace to the rule of law.
So here we are again, dealing with a situation that I think we all know the final outcome on. There will be tons and tons of media coverage, lots of speculation about how Donald Trump is finally going to get what he deserves, and then he is going to escape like he always does, because the quality of his enemies is his greatest asset. And this helps him. It helps him politically. It helps him fundraise. It helps him be more likely to be the GOP nominee in 2024. Makes him more likely to be the next president of the United States. Donald Trump is loving this. Absolutely loving this. This is working out exactly how he wants, and he is going to love every second of it. So when you read these reports about Donald Trump's angry, and you'll see him, he's throwing things, and he's upset about how all of this is going, and he's upset that he's indicted. I wouldn't believe a word of that. Donald Trump loves this. This is exactly what he wants.